A Name to Know, highlighting celebrities, top CEOs, business owners, and nonprofit organizations. Because you are a name to know. Welcome, my name is Alicia, and this is A Name to Know. I definitely have a name to know with me, Mr. Tom Schaudel. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are amazing, Tom. I see you all over the place. You have several restaurants across Long Island.
Right.
What inspired you to do this?
Jimi Hendrix is the reason I'm a cook.
Jimmy?
Yeah. What happened was I was this aspiring guitar player when I was a kid, you know, playing Beatles tunes and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden Hendrix came along and I went, oh, no, now what? You know, you got to learn this, you know. And he's a very difficult guy to copy, you know. And so I started to get it, but I didn't have the tone. I had this little mail order silver tone amp that came from Sears, you know. So I decided I would mess with it and see if I could get the tone the same way. And I blew it up like 3 times. So the third time my father said, I'm not paying for another amp, so go get a job, you know. So I went and got a job as a dishwasher to pay for the amp, and somehow it led to this mess that I'm in now, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How many restaurants do you have now?
I have 5 right now.
5.
Would you like one? You can have one.
I'm in love with Jewel,
Yeah.
you know, and whenever I bring my girlfriends here, we always go to the men's room. That's like a tour.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Talk about the men's room.
Well, the inspiration came from years of doing stuff I shouldn't have done probably, but we decided to have some fun with it, and so we have this huge mural of photographers, like the red carpet thing, and every time you go near it, you know, it kicks off this trigger and all the flash bulbs go off. So we decided that was kind of fun, but then we wanted to do some, you know, some audio to go with it, you know. So we taped a whole bunch of ethnic mothers yelling at their sons in the bathroom, you know, kind of thing. I think it's about 6 or 7. There was a Jewish mom, an Italian mom, an Irish mom. I did a gay guy and an Indian woman, if you can believe that. You know, so it's pretty fun. You know,
That's funny.
Yeah, we were going to do something in the ladies' room, but ladies tend to get a little more serious.
Yeah, why don't you? It's
well,
so
I
vanilla.
didn't want to get yelled at. I get yelled at all the time.
No, you won't. Go for it. Go for it.
We were going to put like a statue in there with a fig leaf, and every time you lifted the leaf, the siren would go off. But I figured, you know, nobody would be able to hear themselves think in the dining room. You know, it sounded like the cops are coming.
That's
or something.
too funny.
So, yeah.
How about the lamps that are hanging upside down? Where'd that come from?
That was my Polish electrician. If he thinks he's getting paid, you know. No, it was actually the designer. When we were doing this, I have this designer, a very talented woman, and she decided to present me with 2 ideas for that area. One was the upside down lamps, and the other was bamboo or whatever. And I was like, oh man, upside down lamps, I don't know, you know. But I've done a lot of consulting, and I found out that when you consult, people pay you, but they don't listen to you. You know, and then you get blamed for stuff they made mistakes on later because you were the consultant. So I didn't want to be that customer. So I thought about that, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to let her do what she does. And it turns out it's one of the most talked about aspects of the restaurant.
It is,
yeah, yeah.
especially when you're by the bar and you've had enough, several drinks, you begin to wonder, is that real?
You begin to wonder if it's last call, is what you begin to wonder, you know. Have I had too much? I mean, you know.
Your staff is awesome, Tom.
Thank you.
I'm so impressed with your staff.
Yeah.
I love coming to your restaurants. The food is over the top.
I appreciate
I noticed that
thanks.
most of your cooks are Latino.
Well, that's the workforce now, especially in our business. I mean, you know, only American kids are waiting for the seat on the stock exchange, you know. And, you know, a lot of them aren't following this path. You know, the problem with being in the restaurant business, and I see a lot of kids come through, you know, and they'll ask me, you know, well, their mothers will ask me, should I send them to CIA or whatever? And some of these cooking schools now are $40,000, $50,000 a year, which is, you know, precious, you know.
Right.
So I always tell them, go get a job in the kitchen first, because, you know, food TV is kind of sort of, as much as it's helped make people aware of food and stuff, it's killing the restaurant industry because it's this false kind of scene of what goes on. These kids see these guys on TV, oh God, I want to become a chef. They don't realize that they got to spend 14 hours, you know, opening oysters and peeling potatoes before you get to the, you know, you don't step out of school and onto a TV set. You know, there's a whole process that comes through. And I don't think a lot of them realize how difficult it is and physical and time consuming. And this is the kind of business that if it's in your DNA, you're okay. But you can't fake it. You can't pretend, you know, if it's not in your DNA, you're just not going to make it.
That's right.
Yeah, so.
Tom, you have so much going on for yourself. What do you do for you? What do you do for Tom? How does Tom relax and exhale?
I drink copious amounts of red wine. And I play a little golf and a little guitar and some kung fu and things like that. Keeps me.
And that's good for you. That's enough for you.
Yeah, I get like 6 hours off a week, so it's like that's
wow.
enough. Yeah. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I mean, I turned two bad habits into a career. This eating and drinking thing. So it's not really like going to work.
You missed your calling, Tom. You should be a comedian.
Yeah, but I'm going to get to that. It's on my bucket list. But it's really not like going to work. Like some people do the drudgery thing on the LIR or going to that. They hate what they do. They just make enough money, whatever. I still kind of like this for some twisted reason. It's probably a touch of mental illness or whatever. But there's still, like fresh vegetables and clear-eyed fish out there that get me out of bed in the morning. And just like, I can't wait till the fish guy shows up. What's he bringing?
Are you an adrenaline junkie?
I'm high energy, if that's the same thing, I have an excessive personality, as you might have noticed. So it's great for some things, like work. It's really bad for other things that I got to kind of pay attention to because you can get wrapped up in, in the excess. But
you're an expert, Tom, because you never get razzled. You're cool all the time. There can be so many things going on in the kitchen, outside. You're just the same.
Well, inside, I mean, you can boil sometimes. I mean, but my kung fu teacher told me 25 years ago that anything that begins in anger ends in shame. And I've kind of remembered that over the years, so I try and, and there are things, I mean, between the employees and the customers that, turn you into Herbert Lom and the Pink Panther when you start the eye thing going, and you want to lash out, but, you got to control it, you got to behave yourself.
You're amazing, Tom.
I came up under the old French Guard, and all they did was scream at you, call your names, and throw pots and pans around the kitchen. It was like a war zone, so I always pledged not to do that.
So Tom, could you take a tour in the kitchen?
Sure, yeah.
Let me taste a little something.
Absolutely.
All right, cool beans.
All right.
Tom Schaudel.
Thank you.
So Tom, what are you cooking up right now?
So what we're going to do is we're going to cook in real time, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. And once I show you how easy this is to make fish, you're going to wonder why I'm paid $7 million a year to do something so simple. Set that skin side up, and the skin is actually good to eat. It's got a nice little flavor to it. Then what we're going to do is, and these are all greens in the anise family. And we're just going to top that with the licorice greens.
Beautiful. And you said the skin is good for you?
Yeah. Give a nice crispness too,
The sauce. Awesome. Tom, you are such an inspiration. I thank you so much for spending time with me, and I know that you're a great role model for all our youngsters coming up trying to be who you are.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
A pleasure.
Once again, a name to know, Mr. Tom Schaudel.